going to tackle no jumping. So jumping is a really common issue. A lot of the reason dogs jump is because they want to get to our face. Dogs are social species. They want to get to our face to sniff us. So it's completely normal to have a dog that wants to jump to get close to our face. What I see a lot is jumping becomes such a habit. A lot of the dogs I see who are kind of chronic jumpers don't even realize that they're doing it. It's just kind of like they see a person and they automatically go up. So I want to see if I can counteract that impulse for them to jump up and see if I can beat them to actually jumping up. Because every time they do jump up, even if they are punished, so let's say that you are, I don't recommend this, but let's say that you are, kneeing your dog, or I've even heard of people like taking the ear and turning it until the dog squeals. Definitely don't recommend that, but let's say you're doing that. You're probably not necessarily going to see the jumping go away because the dog is still practicing the jumping. So we want to beat them to the punch for the jumping. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to use this here as I'm going to pretend like this is a door. So this is going to be my threshold, and as I step over the threshold, I'm going to put treats down on the ground. So I'm going to cue my dog find it. So we've talked about this, where that means find it means there's going to be food on the ground. I'm going to cue him find it, and I'm going to throw food on the ground. And what you're going to see, so I haven't done this a lot with this dog, so you're going to kind of see him understand this as we work on this. You're going to see him start to, as I come towards him, he's going to start looking down, expecting the food. As he gets better and better, so this dog is not really a jumper on me, but as your dog gets better and better at this, you can start extending the amount of time between treats and eventually just totally get rid of the treats, because the dog is going to be able to keep themselves calm enough during that initial greeting when they get that adrenaline burst. They're going to look down, and then once that adrenaline has kind of gotten out of their system, they've calmed down a little bit, then they'll be to a point where they don't feel the need to jump quite as much, and you can reward them for keeping all 4 feet on the ground. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to toss the treat away just to get him started. So as I come over here, find it, I'm going to put the food down, find it, find it. So pretend this is a door here, I'm just stepping through, find it. Find it. Find it. Find it. Find it. So what I'm also doing here is I'm marking. So find it is letting the dog know that what I just saw was what I'm going to reward. So I'm telling him find it, which means the food is coming on the floor. Find it. So did you guys see his eyes just dip down a tiny bit as I stepped over? I'm going to see if he'll look towards the ground. Find it. I'm going to reward that. He wants to give me eye contact. That's all right too. Find it. So now, let's say that I've gotten to the point where I can actually touch the dog. What I can do is I can start petting them a little bit and then do find it during my greeting. So, get my dog up again. I'm going to come through the door. Hey, Bruno, hello! Find it. So I just touch him. I bend down so he's more likely to jump on me. Pet him a little bit, find it. So again, the finding it, find it. So now he's looking more at the ground now. Now he understands what I'm doing here. Pet, 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 pet. Oh my goodness, look at you. Yeah. Pet, find it. Yeah, oh my gosh. Look at the dog. Look at the dog, find it. Good boy. So we're breaking this up. Depending on your dog, you can break this up into really small pieces. I recommend practicing this every single time you come in the door. If you have a really chronic jumper, put a thing of treats outside your doors that you're going to come in through. I also really like having what we call an airlock in between the dog and the door. So that would be something like, you could even use something like this just to keep the dog a little bit away from the door. You can use baby gates or any kind of gate where you can add, maybe just this amount of space so the dog can't directly get to the door, which is going to mean that they're a little bit farther away from you, which is going to help. The other thing you can do to kind of help if you have a dog who is really jumpy is you can throw the treat behind them. So you can say, find it, and then throw the treat over there, because then you have some time to get in the house if you really need to get in, and then you can just throw a bunch of treats on the ground to help them calm down. My biggest tip here would be to verge on the side of overdoing this one rather than underdoing this one. So I might spend, if I have a really bad jumper, I might spend 4 months doing this. Even if my dog is not jumping for 3.5 of those months, I'm still gonna put in the time to do this every single time I come in, because I wanna get this behavior really solid. And eventually, later on, I can become lazy. I don't need to do that in the beginning stages. It's a really easy thing to do every time you come in, find treats on the ground to help your dog stay calm.